Hello and welcome to another pasta chat. I'm just about to start actually making the pasta, so gives me a lot of time. What I wanted to talk about on this one was just a general training update with how everything's been going. I don't actually remember when I did the last one, but basically I was trying to make the total for a international competition next year. I had until December 2025 to do it. I didn't do it. I got injured just before. Wasn't a major injury, but it was bursitis in the knees, and tendonitis and bursitis. So I had to just basically pull back a little bit for a good 2 months because I didn't catch it early enough. Should have been a lot quicker if I got on the ibuprofen earlier. It would have been better, but I was stubborn and I actually didn't know what it was, so I didn't want to force painkillers. But all said and done, we are now so we're January, we're pretty much fully pain free. Every now and then I get a small little twinge in my right knee. It's nothing major and I don't think it's gonna get worse again, but it's not yet good enough for me to warrant pushing hard. So I'm still keeping it pretty chill at the moment. When the pain does come, it doesn't actually persist anymore, which is nice, and it only stops me doing, to be honest, nothing. Single leg deep flexion. So weirdly, like Cossack squats are actually probably one of the things I can't do, and like pistol squats obviously, and like high box step ups. But things like squats are actually fine if it's on 2 legs. Just nothing with that much load through the single leg. The goal at the moment, for anyone who's following my training, is basically having to take a bit of a back seat with the weightlifting. The goal is still get to an international singlet, whichever competition that is, I don't mind, or care. I just want to get to an international comp. And now I'm having to program a little bit more with an S&C focus. So a strength and conditioning focus. What that really means for me is that I'm not lifting as frequently. I'm currently lifting 3 times a week rather than 4 or 5. 3 at the moment seems to be suitable. Ideally I do more because I want to do more, but if I feel like it's just unnecessary extras, I won't push it any further, and I'll just stick to 3. I want to lift 6 days a week, but obviously that probably isn't going to be suitable for me. For the meanwhile, I'm just doing 3. On a few other days, I'm doing S&C work. So, Mem did mention to me about maybe switching the program in the sense of just doing 1 lift per day, rather than both variation of both the lifts. I think that's a good idea, because in an effort to get me training more. I actually just feel like the high intensity load on the knee, it's more, I feel like frequency is actually a bigger deal than intensity. I feel like per session I can actually go relatively hard. I just can't do it every couple of days. I need a few days off in between. And I think whether that's 1 exercise, 1 snatch variation and 1 clean variation, or just 1 snatch variation, for example, I don't think it's going to make a massive difference. So, yeah, for now, I'm just going to stick with the 3 sessions a week. How I'm doing them is, let's say in the first session I'll do like light muscle snatch and then lots of clean and jerks. The other session I might do lots of snatches and then, a light clean and jerk complex, for example. So I'm just mixing it up in that way, high-low style, and on the other days I'm doing S&C work. So sprints, jumps, making a comeback, isometric holds, doing a lot of rehab work. I've got a few rehab exercises at the moment that are actually exercises and not just boring shit, and not just super low load stuff. It's actually relatively difficult stuff. So that, along with cardio, believe it or not, is actually helping me quite a lot, I feel. I'm not yet losing weight, which is good. I don't want to lose weight either. So that's another thing I've got to be careful of. Trying to just get the eating right and eating frequency and volume. In terms of the S&C work, I'm not massively pushing squats. I am pushing deadlifts and RDLs. So once a week I'm doing heavy deadlifts, and later on in the week I'm doing heavy RDLs. I haven't yet massively overloaded the RDLs. I'm doing 180 for a couple of sets of 8 now. It was set to 5 initially, and I bumped it up. For the last 12 weeks or so I've been on 180, so I'm just going to keep on that weight and just kind of make it more and more difficult as time goes on. While that's happening, the deadlifts, I've got up to 220. I've done a 250 triple, max triple, and I've done multiple sessions where I've just done sets of triples at 220. Last week I did pause triple at 220. This week, if I feel good, I might just bump it up to like 230 for a pause triple. If not, I might just try and do 220 for a deficit pause triple. But the deadlifts have actually felt really easy recently, so there's no reason why I can't push that a little bit more now. The RDLs later on in the week, I will stick to 180. And the other thing I'm pushing strength-wise is overhead press. So I'm up to, I did an AMRAP a few weeks ago, 100 kilos for 4 reps. I'm actually making them strict as well. I'm not doing this bullshit where you're bouncing off your chest. I'm making it a push press. I'm actually keeping it as a strict press. Next week, I'm meant to do 2x4 at 100, so at the 4RM. I will, if it goes very well and feels good, I will just do one of the sets as a set of 5, get a PB, and then the week after, I'll be doing an AMRAP at 105. Now, if I get 100 for 5, I'm thinking that 105, I'll probably end up getting 2 reps, maybe 3 on a fantastic day. 3 would be awesome, but I am very aware that 5 kilos in strict press is a lot, and it's not necessarily, I hit 100 for 5, therefore I'm going to hit 105 for 4. I mean, who knows, but with a 1RM of 110, I think 105 for 2 or 3 would actually be awesome. Both would be a PB regardless, I think. So I've never hit more than, I think my best double is like 102 or something, so that would be huge. And that, then the goal for that is body weight. So as soon as I hit a body weight strict press, I mean, it might take quite a few years to be fair. I'm still 15 kilos away, but I have been doing a lot more strict press, so we'll see. I would be very happy to never strict press again because I don't care about it that much. I think it's got some benefit, but not as much as people think. And the same with deadlift. Once I get to 300, I'm just never going to go above 300. I don't really care about going above 300. I feel like the energy cost is not worth it. And it's one of those ones where I don't have a huge desire to push it anyway, but once I hit 300, I have absolutely zero desire to hit 301 or whatever. Like, I just don't care to go more. So once I hit 300, then I'm going to bump down to either starting to push sumo a little bit more, more for just a variation, and or bringing back pulls again. So I haven't actually been doing pulls recently. I've only kind of just regained pain-free lifting from the floor in more of a clean style with the knees a little bit more flexed. So I probably can do pulls soon, but like I said, the weightlifting stuff at the moment, the Olympic weightlifting stuff at the moment, not a big focus on it, not trying to force it, not trying to push it that much, if I'm honest. I mean, like I said, the goal is always to push it, but currently I'm doing 90 kilo snatches and 110 kilo clean jerks, many reps, up to 20 reps per session of EMOM or doubles or triples. Or yesterday I actually did 4s for snatch again, so that was good. I will probably do that for at least 1 more week. I might even do it for 2. Again, I'm in no rush to bump it up. I feel like I'm actually rushing at a point that is super slow, that even Mem is getting annoyed. He seemed to think that I could go up quicker. So I'm probably not on 90, 100. I'll spend a bit of time after that at 100, 120, and then probably make slightly smaller jumps. Something like 105, 127, and then 110, 135, and then 15, 40. And then once I do that, I'll probably then, or 42 or something, then I'll do roughly 120, 150, which is roughly 75%. Once I'm doing loads of volume on 120, 150, I know I'm good for 50, 80. Just from past experience of doing that. When I get to, I'm not just saying I'm doing doubles at 120, I mean, when I'm doing a 4x4 at 120 snatch like I was before, that's around the time I normally snatch 150 again. And with clean and jerk, once I'm doing volume on 150, I know I'm pretty reasonably set up for a 175 or a 180, and at that point, then I'll reconsider maybe pushing the weightlifting a bit more. But until that time, and when I get to that point, I'm basically going to delay that point for as long as possible, because now that I missed the Commonwealth Games qualification period, I have pretty much unlimited time. I have no rush at all. I have some personal stuff going on in life at the moment that's making training for me not as much of a priority, but I'm absolutely okay with that because I'm trying to support something else. So that's not the end of the world, but it's all kind of lined up to the fact that I don't actually need to rush too much at the moment. So once I hit the 300 deadlift and the bodyweight strict press, which I predict will be longer, I will then choose some different exercises. I may even go back to bench, but I feel like it limited me a little bit last time with overhead mobility. So I probably won't do that, but I'll see how I feel. I do want to push sumo at some point, just a variation. And the plan the plan this year, competition-wise, is do the British Champs. I don't care where I come. I don't care how I even do, to be honest. I just want to do the British Champs, because for the last, I want to say 4 years, 3 years, I've had to turn down the invitation, and I just want to do the comp. I don't want to keep missing it. So that would be awesome, especially a year or so after hip surgery and other injuries. I was in a good space to do the English, but it wasn't meant to be. And I always try to think of, it's not God's way of punishing me, God's way of teaching me a lesson, and just getting other things sorted out. But because my life is inherently imbalanced in the sense of my body, it's just a bit of a, sometimes feels like a 1 step forward, 2 steps back situation with the injuries. But the more that happens, the more I figure out, and the better prepared I get for future training and injuries. So living with Erb's palsy is obviously not the easiest thing, but it's had many knock-on effects and ends up costing me a lot of money with medical stuff. But yeah, so the next plan is stay healthy, pretty much. Maybe slowly put on a little bit of body weight, but I'm not too fussed at the moment. I'm just trying to stay relatively healthy at the moment, and just be able to lift pain-free-ish. Able to train unencumbered for the next, I don't know, longer than a month would be nice. So that's the plan. But yeah, knees definitely getting better. Not 100%, but it feels like it's been at 1 or 2 out of 10 pain for a good few weeks now. So I'm hoping it's not super long until it happens and it finally recovers. We're figuring out what's causing it, which is very important. It's been a bit of a persistent issue, so we're trying to work out what it actually is, but we're getting close to it. Otherwise, everything's going pretty well, and that's the pasta chat.